Good evening, Bermuda, and welcome to Tiberias in Lower Tiberias in the Sea of Galilee. We're here reporting on, what we've been doing the last few days, and we're very excited about this. Don't mind the noise; that's all part of the action that we have here in downtown Tiberias. So, Noel, what do you remember most about Friday? How did Friday go for you?
Friday was good, actually. Friday, what's the day now?
Well, we're out on Monday.
Today, it's Monday, so we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Friday was pretty active. We went to the top of the Masada, which is a fortress that Herod built on the edge of the
crazy place.
Yeah, it's a very crazy place. It's very, very high. And we walked all the way up to the top of the Masada, which is a fort Herod built on the side of the Dead Sea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we spent a lot of the morning, we took the cable car up there, and a bunch of us ran.
Some of us ran, others walked.
Ran down,
others walked, yeah.
ran down off the Masada.
Down the snake path. I remember that.
Yeah,
the bottom was the best part.
The bottom was the best part, I think.
Get up the top and look, it looks much nicer when that happens.
Pretty hot place too.
Oh yeah, it was hot, but fantastic views, and you start to see how everything comes alive after being there.
So, we are in the middle of a desert, dry and dusty, hot, and we're on top of a place called Masada. Masada was Herod's palace that he built as a desert getaway, and on top of this palace he had some storehouses where he kept plenty of his food. He also had bathhouses, spa, sauna, and a pool, which would be very good about this time. Some of our group have just walked down to his northern palace. They've come up, and I'm sure they would appreciate some of Herod's pools at this time. But none of those are left anymore. After Herod went off the scene, some Jewish zealots came up here, and they staged a revolt against the Romans. But the Romans built a siege wall all the way around Masada, and eventually they came up a ramp and battered through the walls, but they found all of the Jews dead. They had committed mass suicide because they didn't want to be slaves to the Romans. So a lot of history here in Masada. If you look down, you'll see the Dead Sea right there, and we're gonna go swimming in the Dead Sea in just a little bit. But right past the Dead Sea is the country of Jordan. But right now we're still in Israel and enjoying our time here. Wish you were here.
Did you guys see when the airlines went by?
Oh, the jets, yes.
Yeah, when the jets come by and they tip their wings to Masada every time they go by.
Yes,
that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was to honor the zealots, because there was some 900 of the Jewish zealots who held out against the Romans for a considerable period of time, and then ultimately, rather than surrender when the end was near, they all committed suicide, except for perhaps one or two people.
That's right.
But to this day, the Israeli Air Force, when they fly over, they dip their wings as a salute.
So we then went to the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
Which, I think for a lot of people, we had people who'd never swum before, and they got to lay in the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
I was in the Dead Sea. Dead Sea was good. Yeah. You're very afraid to get your face in the water because it's just that salty.
You could float upright, and the water would come to about here.
Yeah.
And people were floating around with rocks on their bellies and that. The Dead Sea figures in a lot of the things that we've learned, and it was just awesome to see it and everyone to participate in that. So that
Did
was
you get the mud on you?
I didn't do the mud, no.
In order to get the mud, you had to go all the way down to the end of the Dead Sea and reach deep into this hole and pull out this nasty black mud, which is something you normally wouldn't do, but just because everybody else was doing it. And it started to burn my face after a while.
Yeah, you had to do it. You had to do it. And then after the Dead Sea,
in order to see so many interesting places, we've been on a pretty tight time schedule at times. So that means a little bit of hoofing it, and perhaps more than a little bit. Yeah, okay, yeah, a lot. So we went to En-Gedi, and that's where David hid out from Saul when he was, being chased around by Saul. And this is a beautiful spot. The stream comes down. There's the waterfall, the river running through there, and pools. Really beautiful place, calm and serene. But we only had something like 9 minutes and 43 seconds.
So as Marines would have been, we double timed it.
We double timed
up the slope.
Up to the top.
And
up to the top.
That's all we needed to seal the day almost.
Yeah.
We also hit Qumran.
Yep.
So
That's
what a
where the
good day.
Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Scrolls that were written, I think it was 1,000 years before any other scroll that the Bible's been translated from. So, you know, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that really sort of brought it together and proved that, you know, the Bible wasn't just created somewhere and it didn't match up. They were able to match texts that they found there with versions that were, you know, being stored in other countries that showed that they were virtually identical. I mean, we're talking about an I or a T somewhere, but these versions were such that it really helps to prove that the Bible has a source, and it's a common source, and it's a common story, and it is the Word.
We also found out that they bathed in the same water over and over and over again.
Yeah, so we don't want to think about that too much.
Yeah, that
wasn't
part's
that
not
great.
too
We
great.
get clean showers when we come back. But that was the day of running. That was the day of running.
lot of running that day.
I think we did. Was that the day we did 5.5 miles of walking?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
total?
it was a pretty good day.
Yeah.
So if
It
you
was
weren't
quite a-
prepared, you were in trouble. But
Yeah.
it was a good day. Next day,
Wow.
we made our way up from Jerusalem, and we moved up to get to eventually Galilee at the end of the day, and that's where we are now. And we started by going to Caesarea, which was an amazing port that Herod built out of nothing on the shore of the Mediterranean to bridge between the kingdom of Israel and that he ruled, and bridge over to Rome that he was under. And then we also got to see all around the Nazarene Ridge, the Jezreel Valley, looking into an area called Megiddo, where Revelation explains to us about Armageddon, the Battle of Armageddon.
A lot of amazing sights. It was really quite something to see those places, and we even got a chance to go on the seashore in front of the Hippodrome in Caesarea and dig in the sand and get some shells and look for Roman glass. And some of us, I think, did find small little pieces of Roman glass, which was kind of interesting because that's old stuff, and that was a bit of history to carry home. Yeah.
Was that the same day we went to the Nazareth Ridge?
It was a busy day.
That was a busy day.
Yeah.
All the days are sort of melding together. But from Nazareth Ridge, you can see everything. You see Mount Tabor, where Barak and Deborah were doing their thing. See the City of Names at the bottom of Mount Moreh. Over Mount Moreh was the village of Shunem, where Elijah or Elisha raised the son of the Shunammite woman, or Elijah, can't remember.
And we got to see Elijah's, the place that Elijah
Oh yeah,
made
when
to-
Elijah slew all the prophets of Baal, or had the people of Israel slay all the prophets, slay all the prophets of Baal. 1 Kings 18.
Yes.
High at the mountain of Mount Carmel, actually, where Elijah had the prophets of Baal slain. It's pretty powerful for me what occurred over this place. Over my shoulder is Megiddo, but Elijah prayed twice while he was on this mountain in order to have it established before the people of Israel that God is God, and that was with the slaying of the prophets of Baal and the beginning of rain at the end of the drought. And one thing that really touched me is that, you know, we can always be so confident in the person of God, and that we can have our faith firmly rooted in who He is.